קטע הבא מתוך זוהר לעם והתחנן. עתיד הקדוש ברוך הוא לפקוח עיניים. היו חכמות שהסתכלו בחוכמה העליונה ולהשיג מה שלא השיגו בעולם הזה.
The Creator is destined to open the eyes, for there has never been wisdoms that would gaze upon the upper wisdom and attain what they did not attain in this world, so they would know their Master. Happy are the righteous, who are rewarded with that wisdom, for there is no wisdom like that wisdom, no knowing like that knowing, and no adhesion like that adhesion. Zohar for all, portion of Naso. Because Israel are destined to taste from the tree of life, which is the book of Zohar, they will come out of exile with mercies. (28) Etz Chaim Hakdamot. When the days of the Messiah approach, even the babies in the world will discover the secrets of the wisdom, to know the times and the calculations of redemption, and at that time it will be revealed to all. Clearly, until now, the words of the Zohar were concealed. But in the last generation, this wisdom will be revealed and publicized, and they will understand and be wise in the secrets of the Torah, which the previous ones did not attain. Item 29, Haven Ish Chai. From the time that the precious light of the two great lights, the book of Tikkunim and the book of Zohar, rose and illuminated, the Jews of the assembly of Israel received and observed to hold on to the sacred study of the Tikkunim and the Zohar, one and all, young and old. And although they were unable to understand the holy secrets and sayings in these holy books, nevertheless, they thirstily drank their words and were very, very impressed.
מתוך שיחות הר"ן.
Item 30, Sichot Haran. He magnified greatly several times the praise and greatness of Tikkunei Zohar, and it was his custom to engage in it more all year long, though not during the days of Elul. And he said that in the book of Tikkunim are included all the wisdom of the world. This is from a letter written by Ateret Tzvi. The book of Zohar, to which my soul cleaves until I lay down, and when I arise I adhere to it. My heart does not rest, and it is not still, because this book is truly known and famous, and is a remedy to those who engage in it, and it is the source of all the books of the fearful, and from it come all the teaching and the pure love of the Creator.
מתוך חנה אריאל, פרשת שמות.
Item 32, Hana Ariel, Parshat Shemot. As we heard in the explanation of the Rabbi of Liazni, that there is mental illness, etc., and the reading of the Holy Zohar helps it, even if the person does not know what it is saying. Item 33, Hi'ida. The study of the Book of Zohar is above all studies, and is a great correction to the soul. Since the whole of the Torah is the names of the Creator, it is nevertheless clothed in stories, and one who reads the stories thinks of the literal. However, in the Book of Zohar, the secrets themselves are revealed, and the reader knows that they are the secrets of the Torah, although it is not understood because of the smallness of the attaining and the depth of the attained. We're going to be reading from the portion of Vayekel, from Zohar for All. Make sure your phones are turned off.
מבוסס על סדרת ספרי זוהר לעם. ניתן להוריד את הספרים באתר קבלה לעם kab.co.il או להזמינם בטלפון 1-700-509-209.
Hello, we're reading from Zohar for All, portion Vayekel, paragraph 261. You can find the study materials on Kab.coil. You can ask questions on Kab.tv, and questions will be answered during the lesson.
In order to discover what the Zohar gives us, we need to connect, to envision ourselves connected in a 10 annulled within it, to accept it as one, and then everything that's written in the book of Zohar, we anticipate for its discovery and revelation within that 10. Please.
Item 261. These fingers imply these illuminations of the fire, the 4 Merkavot that illuminate and govern from within the light of the candle that was blessed. And because they are degrees below, when a person shows his fingers before the light of the candle, he should bend them before him, because that light rules over them, and they illuminate from him. The illumination of Chokhmah in Malchut is called illumination of the fire, because the illumination of Chokhmah comes out only from the left line, and the left line can illuminate only by the subduing of the middle line with its Masach Tichirik, which is fire. Thus the illumination of Chokhmah illuminates only through the fire of the middle line. For this reason, this Chokhmah is called illumination of the fire. Also, it is known that Chokhmah illuminates only in Malchut, hence Malchut is called illumination of the fire, or the light of the candle. The 4 angels, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel and Raphael, are the 3 lines Nehi and Malchut that receives them when they rise and clothe the Nehim of Malchut. At that time the Malchut appears over them with her illumination of Chokhmah, like the king who appears to the people in his carriage. Therefore they are called Malchut's Merkava, or chariot, or assembly. It was said that those fingers imply those illuminations of the fire. From their posterior, in the place of the nails, a man's 4 fingers imply those 4 angels. Malchut's Merkava, on which the illumination of Chokhmah appears in Malchut, as it is written, "And you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen." It was said that he should bend them before him, implying diminution of Gar that appears over the fingers in illumination of Chokhmah. It is so because since Malchut is considered an illumination of the fire, it causes them to bend. Diminution of Gar, since that light governs them, Chokhmah in Malchut is called illumination of the fire, because it does not shine without it. Therefore it must illuminate like the subduing of the middle line only in Vakdagar, only from below upward, in bending the fingers, and not from above downward, Gar Dagar, by straightening the fingers. 262. On the rest of the blessings, such as the blessing of the priests, the fingers should be straightened up, to show the high Kedusha of the upper degrees that govern everything, the degrees of the right of Zerampin, which extend their Kedusha from upper Abba Ve'ima, who are holiness. The holy name, Malchut, is crowned in them and sanctified in them, and all the degrees are blessed together, illuminating from within the upper illumination, Gar Dibina, the root of all the Hasidim. This is why the fingers should be held up. But here one should bend the fingers before the candle, to show the degrees of below, the 4 Merkavot that illuminate from within the light above Malchut. They govern and illuminate from her, and they are the illuminations of the fire. It is so because through the middle line's subduing of the 2 lines, right and left, their lights are corrected. The light of the right line, Chasadim, will illuminate from above downward in actual Gar, and the light of the left line, illumination of Chokhmah, will illuminate only from below upward in Vakta Chokhmah. Also, the illumination of Chokhmah illuminates only in Malchut, when she is riding in her 4 Merkavot, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael. It follows that the lights above Malchut, the lights of Chasadim and right line, illuminate from above downward, and this is the straightening of the fingers. But in the light of Malchut, the illumination of Chokhmah and left line, which is set up to illuminate only from below upward, the fingers should be bent, indicating the bending and diminution of the Gar. 263. Each day we bless for the illuminations of the fire, meaning who creates the light, who makes the illuminations, which are upper lights that stand in the first light, Chesed. Then all the degrees are blessed, and all shine together from the upper illumination, Binah. But the ones here are called illuminations of the fire, and this is why we bless who creates the illuminations of the fire. 264. Why who creates the illuminations of the fire and not who illuminates the illuminations of the fire? After all, they illuminate from the fire of the blessed light, the fire that extends from the middle line. But when the Shabbat begins, all the degrees below, the 4 Merkavot, and all who illuminate and govern from the illumination of that fire enter and are included in the candle, Malchut. They are hidden and concealed and kept in it. They are not seen in it except for that point, Malchut, and all are hidden in it throughout the Shabbat day. On the Shabbat day, Malchut is in a zivug panim bepanim, with Zerampin, and the left is not apparent in her at all. Moreover, all the degrees that extend from her illumination of Chokhmah, which is called illuminations of the fire, are included, swallowed in her, and are unseen. Thus, only her own point remains in Malchut. 265. When the Shabbat ends, Malchut brings out those illuminations of the fire to each one as though they were created at that time. They all come out and are created as in the beginning, appointed over their places to govern. Then that candle is blessed, and they bow before her to illuminate, in the bending of the fingers. When they illuminate, each is appointed his place. 266. Similarly, those upper degrees called illuminations of the lights govern during the day and illuminate from the upper light Binah. When the night grows dark, that upper illumination gathers them and brings them into it until the day rises. When Israel bless for the day, it takes them out in the wholeness of their illumination. And yet they bless who makes the illuminations, and do not say who creates, even though they are renewed each day. At the end of the Shabbat they say who creates, because the illuminations of the fire are degrees below, of Ochoraim. And with lights of Ochoraim, the words who creates are possible, such as who creates darkness. 267. The upper degrees of illuminations of light and the lower degrees of illuminations of fire are implied by the fingers. The upper degrees are known by straightening the fingers upward, implying to illumination of Gar, which is from above downward. By straightening the fingers, the upper degrees and the lower degrees are blessed together. By lowering the fingers, which implies Vak, illuminating only from below upward, only the lower degrees are blessed to illuminate, meaning Malchut, and the Merkavot extend from her as illumination of Chokhmah appears only in Malchut.
הציפורניים, 268.
The nails, 268. The nails in the back of the fingers are illuminations of the fire, and the fingers themselves, inside the hand, are illuminations of the light. The nails behind the fingers are other faces, which should illuminate from within the candle Malchut. These faces are called Achoraim. The fingers inside the hand, which are without nails, are the inner faces, which are covered and in which there is no seeing, Chokhmah, as it is written, and you shall see my back, which are the back of the fingers with their nails. It is also written, but my face shall not be seen. These are the fingers inside the hand, with or without nails, being an inner face.
269. כשמברכים על הנר צריכים להראות אחורי האצבעות בציפורניים.
269. When blessing for the candle, one needs to show the back of the fingers with the nails, implying the four Merkavot. So they will illuminate from within the candle, which indicates Malchut. However, the front of the fingers does not need to be shown, illuminating out of that candle Malchut, as it illuminates only out of the upper candle up above, Chochmah de Zarampin, who is covered and concealed, and whose Chochmah is not revealed at all. It does not illuminate from within the candle that appears, Malchut, in which the Chochmah is disclosed. This is why the back of the fingers with the nails on them needs to be shown, as it extends Chochmah from the candle, Malchut, and the front of the fingers does not need to be shown before that candle, as it is hidden and illuminates in hiding, not receiving Chochmah from that candle, because it is internality and illuminates from within. It is superior and illuminates from the upper ones. Man is a Merkavah for Zon. The hands are Chug, which become Hub at the time of Gadlut, as it is written, "Lift up your hands to the sanctuary." In each hand there are 3 joints, Chabad. The 3 joints of the right are Chabad de Chochmah, and the 3 joints to the left are Chabad de Binah. The biceps connected to the shoulder is Dat, the arm is Binah, the joints of the fingers are Chochmah. Thus man's fingers indicate Chochmah. It is known that there is no degree without Panim and Achoraim. This is because in each degree are 10 Sfirot, Kechabtum, where Keten Chochmah and half of Binah are regarded as Panim of the degree, below which is a Parsa, that in Katnot elicits half a degree to the degree below it, which are half of Binah and Tum. In Gadlut, the Masachta Malchut descends from the Parsa to a place below, returning the half of Binah and Tum to the degree. For this reason, those Binah and Tum that fell in the Katnut of the degree are called Achoraim of the degree, even during the Gadlut after they returned to the degree. The degree of fingers is also divided into the 2 above-mentioned halves, Panim and Achoraim, where Kotan and Chochmah and half the Binah in them are considered the Panim of the fingers. These are the fingertips on the side of the flesh. And Binah and Tum that fell from the degree during the Katnut and returned at the time of Gadlut, which are regarded as Achoraim, are the fingertips on the side of the nails. The nails, Parsa, separates between Kelim de Panim and Kelim de Achoraim. In general, Malchut is regarded as Achoraim de Zarampin. In particular, all the Pchinot of Achoraim in Zarampin were given to Malchut in regard to the sewing off. For this reason, each Pchina in the fingers receives from its corresponding Pchina. The Panim of the fingers receives from Chochmah de Zarampin, who is Panim, in which the Chochmah does not appear, as it was said that the Panim of the fingers do not need to be shown, so they would illuminate from within that candle, because they have no relation to Malchut. It was said that they illuminate only from within the upper candle up above, but receive from Chochmah de Zarampin, who is the Pchina opposite them, which is related to them. But the Achoraim of the fingers receive from Chochmah in Malchut, who is the Pchina opposite them, which is related to them. When blessing on the candle, the back of the fingers with the nails should be down, illuminating from within the candle, since they receive from the candle Malchut, as it is the Pchina opposite them. 270. When the Shabbat ends, one should smell the perfumes, because the spirit has departed from the man, meaning the addition of Neshama of the Shabbat, while the Nefesh of the man remains bare by that departure, that the Ruach has departed from her.
271. It is written, "And he smelled the smell of his clothes and blessed him." The smell is the keeping of the nefesh, because it enters the nefesh and not the guf. And he smelled the smell of his clothes means that they were the clothes of Adam Rishon that the Creator had given him. 272. When Adam sinned, the garment of honor in which he was dressed initially, when the Creator admitted him into the Garden of Eden, was removed from him. After he sinned, he clothed him with a different garment. The first garment which Adam wore at first in the Garden of Eden was of those blessings that are called achoraim, which are the garments that are called nail garments. 273. When he was in the Garden of Eden, all those chariots and all those holy camps were circling Adam. He was guarded from everything, and no evil could reach him. When he sinned, these garments of nails were removed from him, and he feared evil things and evil spirits, and those holy camps that surrounded him and guarded him had parted from him. Of all those attires, only the nails at his fingertips remained, surrounded by the filth of the Sitra Achra. The nails are the parsa that separates the kelim de panim from the kelim of achoraim. It is attached to the kelim of achoraim because it is the root of their illumination, as their whole illumination comes from the parsa lowering the ending malchut from it to her own place. By that, the kelim of binah and tum rose from the place to which they fell to their own degree, where they became the left and kelim of achoraim. Thus, the parsa is the root of their illumination and is thus attached to them as the nails are attached to the fingertips. As the parsa is the root of the kelim of achoraim, it is the root of the illumination of the lower degree. This is because when the kelim of achoraim, binah and tum, rise to their degree, they take the lower degree with them and elevate it to their degree. Thus, the parsa has become the root of the lower degree as well, as it is the root of the kelim of achoraim. For this reason, the parsa is attached to the kelim of the lower degree as well. The souls of Adam and Eve are from the degree below Zon because they emerge and cascade from them. It follows that when the parsa of Zon raised the kelim of binah and tum, which were fallen in the souls of Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve, the souls of Adam and Eve rose along with them to the place of Malchut of Atzilut, the Garden of Eden, as it is written, "And the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden." Thus, that same parsa of Malchut of Atzilut, attached to the kelim of achoraim, which are her binah and tum, is also attached to Adam, to whom she is the root, as she is the root of the kelim of achoraim. It was said that the first clothing that Adam wore in the Garden of Eden was of those merkavot called achoraim, which are the garments called nail garments. This is so because as the nails cling to the Malchut's kelim of achoraim, they clothe the whole of the level of Adam Rishon, because the nails were the root of their illumination. This attire was very important, as it is the parsa of Malchut of Atzilut on her kelim of achoraim. And when he sinned and those nail garments were removed from him, he feared evil things and evil spirits, and those holy camps that surrounded and protected him departed. Of all those garments, only those nails in the fingertips remained. After the sin, the soul, which had come to him from Atzilut through the parsa, was lost. And naturally, the nail garment that comes from the parsa was lost as well. And befitting the small measure of his high soul that remained in him, a part of the nail garment remained in him as well. This is the surplus of the nails on the fingertips, and since the nails are considered kelim of achoraim, the Sitra Achra has the strength to cling to them and to suckle from them. The part of the nails that is not attached to the flesh of the finger, where there is always filth, is the place from which the Sitra Achra always sucks. This is why it is forbidden to grow them beyond the finger flesh, 274. For this reason, one should not grow one's nails, for there is filth in them. As they grow, the force of din grows upon him too, by the force of the klipot that suckle from the nails that surpass the flesh. One should attend to it every day. He should cut them, but not throw them away, to not act disrespectfully in that place, since their root is a high place, and one could be harmed by it. It is all as it is above. The Sidra Acha surrounds all the kelim of Achoraim above, hence the nails too are surrounded by filth. Since they extend from the Achoraim and must not be in the place of the world, in an inhabited place. Rav, we make an effort to maintain the 10, meaning to maintain the correct pattern by the kli, which is a semblance for the light. And then the light comes and gradually sanctifies the kli. Smelling the myrtle, 275. Afterwards, the Creator made for Adam other clothes from the leaves of the trees in the Garden of Eden. It is written, "And the Lord God made for Adam and for his wife leather garments and clothed them." However, in Rabbi Meir's Torah it is written, "garments of light," since they were from the leaves of the tree in the Garden of Eden, which are lights. It is so because at first Adam's garments were from the Achoraim of the garden of above, Malchut D'Atzilut, from her Parsa. But after the sin, they were from the Garden of Eden of the earth, in the world of Asiyah, coming out of the garden. These garments were emitting scents and perfumes of the garden, in which the soul settles and delights. As it is written, "And he smelled the smell of his clothes and blessed him." For Yitzchak's soul and spirit, nefesh and ruach, settled in that scent. 276. For this reason, when the Sabbath ends, one should smell perfumes so that his soul will settle in that scent in return for the upper scent that has departed him. And the best of all the scents of the perfumes is the myrtle. For the keeping of the holy place, Malchut, from which the souls come out, is myrtle. This is also the keeping of man's soul, such as above, to be sustained by that bareness that remained in him after the departure of the added soul of Shabbat. Chagat the Zerampin are called myrtles in regard to their giving illumination of Chokhmah to Malchut, since the illumination of Chokhmah is called scent. It follows that these myrtles keep the Malchut, whose essence is the illumination of Chokhmah. Malchut is called a place. The myrtle, Chagat the Zerampin, emits a scent, illumination of Chokhmah, to give to the Malchut. This is why we take myrtle to keep a man's soul with it at the end of the Sabbath after the departure of the added soul. 277. When the Sabbath ended, Adam HaRishon dressed in those garments of the Garden of Eden of the earth, which emits scents and perfumes, to keep his soul instead of the high, holy, and honorable spirit, which is the upper brightness of Atzilut that had departed him. The myrtle is the keeping of the soul, since in the upper one there is a keeping of the soul, Malchut. Rav, are there any questions? None.
Konstantin from Novosibirsk, what should I do about the will? I really want to understand what's written in the Zohar.
No, you can do that, but what will he learn? That the nails of the Parsa, lemala, lemata, above and below, the front and the back of the hand, what will he know from this? These are matters which we can't yet utilize. In practice is, if I have a connection with the environment, and we have 10 sfirot in that connection, then I can, with these 10 sfirot, see how connected we are in greater and greater detail, according to the measure or the quantity of discernments, I attain the Creator more. The light which is revealed according to the number of discernments. From Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechidah, and so on and so forth, in each and every degree, the gap between the degrees is in the number of discernments. It's the same in our world. Yes? In everything, in colors and numbers, the number of discernments, that's all it is. It's all frequencies, and the number of discernments determines the precision, the accuracy. Yes, please continue.
עמוד 322, כותרת רוח העליון, פסקה 278. רוח העליון, תוספת הנשמה,
The upper spirit, 278. The upper spirit is the added soul that descends over a person on Shabbat with joy and delights his soul. At that time man's soul is as it is in the next world, when his nefesh will enjoy the ruach. As the man was delighting that spirit in this world, that spirit delights the man in the next world. As it is written, "Then shall you delight in the Lord." As the man enjoys great delight, which is the spirit, and delights it, so he will be satiated by it in the next world. Then, when one is rewarded with completing the wholeness of the glory of the Shabbat, the Creator declares about him and says, "And he said unto me, You are my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified." 279. Rabbi Abba and the rest of the friends rose and said, "Happy are we that the Creator has brought this road before us." Rabbi Abba said, "The Creator has provided me with this road in order to bond with you. Happy am I that I have been rewarded with this road." 280. On the day when I went off, I saw a light splitting into 3 lights, which went before me and hid. I said, "I must have seen divinity. Happy am I." And now these 3 lights that I saw are you. You are lights and high illuminations to illuminate in this world and in the next world. 281. Thus far I did not know that all these hidden gems were in your possession. Once I saw that these words were said by the will of the commandments of your Master, I know that all the words rise on this day to the upper throne, which is Binah, and the minister of the faces, Matat, takes them and turns them into crowns for his Master. This day is crowned with 60 holy Merkavot, opposite Chagat Nehi, in honor of the throne Binah, by these words that were said here on this day. 282. In the meantime, the sun had set. At midnight they rose to engage in Torah. Rabbi Abba said, "Henceforth we shall say things with which to crown the righteous in the Garden of Eden, for now is the time when the Creator and all the righteous in the Garden of Eden listen to the voices of the righteous in the earth." The firmaments of Asiya, 283. The heavens are the heavens of the Lord, but the earth he has given to the sons of men. What is the heavens are the heavens? There is heaven, and there is heaven. There is heaven below in the world of Asiya, and earth below the heaven, and there is heaven above in the world of Atzilut, and earth below the heaven. All the degrees, upper and lower, are likewise extended from one another, and all that there is above, there is below. They are similar to each other as a seal and its imprint, where all that there is in the seal exists in its imprint. Each one below receives from its counterpart above. 284. The heaven below in the world of Asiya are 10 curtains, 10 sphirot, as it is written, stretching out heaven like a curtain. The Creator made them and the camps of angels in them to lead the lower earth of Asiya. And the ninth firmament, Chokhmah, leads the lower ones, encircling them like a necklace of gems encircles the neck. Nothing in the lower ones is done except by him. As it is written, you have made them in wisdom. The 10th firmament is the primary one among all the firmaments, as is the Sphira Keter, the root and the essence of all the bottom 9. 285. In all the firmaments there are appointed angels up to the 7th firmament, Chesed, but there are no appointees in the Gar of the firmaments. From the 7th firmament on, which are Gar Chechab, a light spreads below the upper throne, Malchut Atzilut, illuminating to the 10th firmament, Keter Dasiyah. The 10th firmament gives to the 9th firmament from that light which it received, Chokhmah, and the 9th firmament illuminates to the 8th firmament, Bina, and below. 286. The stars are in the 8th firmament. When the armies of stars are counted and it takes them out, that light that it received from the firmament of Chokhmah stands and gives its strength to each and every one, to be appointed where it should, as it is written, the one who leads forth their host by number. He called them all by name because of the greatness of his might and the strength of his power. Not one is missing. Because of the greatness of his might is the upper brightness that it received from the firmament of Chokhmah. 287. In each firmament an appointee is appointed over the world and over the earth to lead them all, except in the land of Israel, to which there is no leading firmament or any other force, but only the Creator. So how is there a firmament over the land of Israel in vain, if rain and dew come down on it from the firmament, as on every other land? 288. In every firmament there are appointees who govern the world. That appointee rules over that firmament, gives of his strength to that firmament, and that firmament it receives from that appointee and gives below to the land. That appointee receives only from the extract of the light of it above, since the nations of the world are nourished only by the extract. However, the firmament of the Holy Land is not governed by another appointee or any other force, but only the Creator who commands the Holy Land in that firmament over it. 289. There are certain doors in each firmament, and the governance of each appointee is written from door to door, and from that door on he does not rule even the slightest bit. Also, one does not penetrate the zone of the other door, except when one is given permission to rule over another. Then the kings on earth also rule over one another, meaning the kings on earth that are ascribed to those firmaments and appointees. 290. In the middle of all the firmaments over the land of Israel, in the middle of the world, there is a door called Kvilon. Under this door are 70 other doors below, and 70 appointees keep from a distance of 2,000 cubits, the Shabbat zone, from the door that is called Kvilon. They do not approach it. From that door, a path goes up until it reaches the upper throne, Malchut. From that door, his governance expands to all the sides of the firmament, up to the gate door, called Magdon. This is the end of the firmament of the land of Israel. 291. Those 70 doors that are written in the door Kvilon are all written in the holy throne Malchut, and everyone calls them gates of justice, after the Malchut, which is called justice, Tzedek, for none other governs them. Also the Creator commands the land of Israel in the firmament from door to door, from the door Kvilon to the door Magdon, with a proper count and complete bestowal, as much as needed. Those 70 appointees take and give from the extract of that count to all the other appointees over the nations of the world. The firmaments over the Garden of Eden. 292. In the Garden of Eden below, the Garden of Eden of the earth, the firmament that stands above it has high secrets. When the Creator made the firmament, He brought fire and water from the throne, the world of Bria, and joined them together, making the firmament below on our earth out of them. They expanded until they reached the place of the Garden of Eden, and did not expand further. What did the Creator do? He took another fire and water, which are present and not present, revealed and not revealed, from the upper holy heaven, which is called heaven of Atzilut. Of these fire and water, which were taken from the upper heaven, He made the expansion of the firmament and spread them over the Garden of Eden of below. That firmament, Dat, joins with other firmament on our earth, Tiferet. The firmament is the new siyum, or end, that was done in each degree due to the ascent of Malchut to Binah of each degree. Sometimes it is said that the middle line is called firmament, which is the heaven, Tiferet, since the new siyum was made at the point of Cholam, when Malchut rose to Binah. However, along with the exit of the point of Shuruk, the left line, a dispute was made, which wanted to completely annul that siyum and illuminate from above downward until the middle line came, and determined that the left would illuminate only from below upward, and the new siyum would not be cancelled. At that time, Binah and Tum, who were below the new siyum, were forced to rise above the new siyum and bond in their degree. Thus, the middle line made the new siyum that was made at the point of Cholam, so it would be constant and forever existing. It follows that the new siyum was made permanent in the middle line, Masach Techirik, which is why at one time we call the firmament the new siyum of Tzimtzum Bet, and another time, middle line. And as there are heaven and earth in Atzilut, where the middle line Zerampin, which includes Chagat Nehi, is called the heaven of Atzilut, and below it is the general Malchut, which is called earth, so there are heaven and earth in the world of Asiyah. Heaven is the middle line, which includes Chagat Nehi, and below it is Malchut Asiyah, which is called earth. It was said that the heaven below, in the world of Asiyah, are 10 curtains, since those Chagat Nehi in the middle line contain 10 Sfirot, because the Chesed includes Keter Chochmah Binah, and the Yesod in it includes Malchut, Ateret Yesod. There are 10 curtains, as it is written, stretching out heaven like a curtain, and yet Malchut in it, the crown, is not the real Malchut, but is included in Yesod. This is why we regard them as only 9 firmaments, and Malchut is the earth completely below the firmament, who is the 10th. And as the heaven of Asiyah include 10 firmaments, the earth of Asiyah includes 10 Sfirot, which are 7 lands. The top one among them, Binah, which includes Gar, is the earth on which we sit. However, this Binah of the lands of Asiyah, on which we sit, also divides into 10 Sfirot, and we sit only in the Zat of this Binah, in which the land of Israel is the Yesod. And that Binah de Binah includes Gar, which is the Garden of Eden of the earth. Every 10 curtains of the heaven of Asiyah are 10 Sfirot Tiferet, which includes Chagat Nehi. And where did the middle line come from? After all, it is an offshoot of the subduing of the 2 lines, right and left, in Binah, fire and water, in the matter of 3 comes out of 1, and 1 is rewarded with the 3 of them. Thus, from which Binah did the middle line of Asiyah come out, when the real Binah is neither in Asiyah nor in Yetzirah? From the fire and water of the world of Beriah, which is called the throne, which the middle line associated and joined together. The firmament below came out as 3 that come out of 1, which are the 10 firmaments of Asiyah, as in 1 that is rewarded with the 3 of them. From Briah it extends to the world of Asiyah because there is no level of Binah below the world of Briah, meaning that a middle line will connect the two lines in her. Yet the level of Binah that exists in the world of Briah is regarded as merely the exterior of Binah. The middle line that comes out of it is not Dat, but Tiferet, Zat, which is enough for being firmaments of Zat on the land of Asiyah, as well as on the land on which we sit, Zat de Birna, of the land of Asiyah. But how will the middle line suffice for the Garden of Eden, Binah de Bina, of the land of Asiyah, whose middle line should be Dat, the middle line of the actual Gar, which comes out of fire and water of Binah de Bria, being only the externality of Tiferet? Since those firmaments extended from fire and water of Binah de Bria, which are externality and Tiferet, which includes 10 curtains, how could they overlap the Garden of Eden, which is Binah de Bina of the land of Asiyah, since the middle line that overlaps it needs to be actual middle line of Gar, which is Dat? Therefore, when they arrived at the Garden of Eden of the earth, they sat and could not expand over the Garden of Eden. And although our earth is from Binah of the earth of Asiyah too, but only from Zat of this Binah, the externality of Binah, this is why the middle line from fire and water of Briah is enough for them. But the Garden of Eden, that Binah de Binah, is actual Gar and requires a middle line from actual Gar. The Creator took the middle line, which determines between Chub de Zerampin, which is called heaven, who is the middle line of Gad de Zerampin, which is called Dat. From this Dat, the firmament over the Garden of Eden of the earth expanded and made the expansion of the firmament from them, determining between fire and water, which is the middle line, called firmament, Dat, and spread them over the Garden of Eden below, Binah de Binah of the land of Asiyah. It connects from the other firmament like the nature of Dat that connects and spreads into Chagat Nehi Tiferet, thus connecting this firmament Dat with the rest of the firmaments of Asiyah, which are Tiferet. It was said that they are present and not present, revealed and not revealed, that fire and water, Chub de Zerampin, are not the upper Abba ve'Ima de Zerampin, that are completely unattainable, and the Chokhmah does not appear in them. Rather, they are Chub de zzsolt de Zerampin, in which the Chokhmah appears in Dat, and they are attainable, though not in their own place, in Zerampin, but after they expand into Malchut. The present and not present, revealed and not revealed, on the one hand the Yod came out of their Avir, and the Chokhmah appeared. Hence they are attainable, and on the other hand they are not present and not revealed. Thus, in the place of Zerampin, they are unattainable, but only after they expand into Malchut, which is the place of disclosure of the Chokhmah.
293. There are 4 colors in the expansion of the firmament over the garden: white, red, green, and black. These are the 3 lines, right, left, and middle: white, red, and green. And black is Malchut, who receives these 3 lines. There are 4 openings below the expansion of the firmament in those 4 colors. These are open to the 4 sides of the firmament over the garden. South and north are Chug, and east and west are Tum. 4 lights open in these 4 openings from the fire and water, Chub de Zerampin, from which the firmament was made. 294. 2 lights illuminate in 2 openings on the right of that opening, out of the expansion of the other side of water in the firmament, which was made of the fire and water, the light of Chasadim, that is, in the opening on the right, on the south side, Chesed, in the opening opposite the anterior, on the east, Tiferet. It is so because east and west are called Panim and Acho, anterior and posterior. And the light of Chasadim also illuminates in Tiferet. 295. A single letter is inscribed inside that light that illuminates to the right side. It illuminates, protrudes, and sparkles in a sparkling out of that light. This is the letter Mem, the first letter in Michael. It stands in the middle of the light in the opening. This letter rises and falls and does not stand in one place. The light on the right side takes that letter and takes it out. Hence, it does not stand in one place, as it is written, and animals ran to and fro, not standing in one place. 296. Within the light that illuminates opposite the Panim, east, Tiferet, a single letter is inscribed, illuminating, protruding, and sparkling in a sparkling within that light. This is the letter Reish, the first letter of the angel Raphael. Sometimes the Bet is seen, the first letter of the angel Boel, standing in the middle of the light of the opening, going up and down. Sometimes it appears and sometimes it does not appear. It does not stand in one place, as it is written, and the animals ran to and fro. Those two letters stand in the middle of the light of the two openings. When the souls of the righteous come to the Garden of Eden, those two letters come out of that light and stand over that soul, rising and falling, as it was written, ran to and fro. 297. Two Merkavot rush and descend from above out of those two openings, the upper Merkava of Michael, master of the deputies. The second Merkava is of the high appointee Boel, the honorable servant Raphael. They come down and stand over the soul, telling her, "Come in peace, peace will come." Then those two letters rise and stand in their places and are hidden inside the light of the openings. 298. There are two other openings. Two other lights blaze out of the fire through those openings, one to the left and one to the back. Two other letters blaze in those lights and sparkle within them. One is the letter Gimel and one letter is Nun. These are the first letters of the angels Gavriel and Nuriel. When the first letters return to their place, those other two letters sparkle and rise and fall, coming out of those lights in the openings and standing over the soul. 299. At that time, two Merkavot come down from these two openings. One Merkava is that of Gavriel, a high and honorable appointee. The other Merkava is that of Nuriel, a high appointee. They come down from these openings and stand over the soul, and the letters Gimel Nun return to their places. In the new siyum, the new ending that was made in the middle of the degree at the point of cholam, a new opening was made for the lower one due to Malchut's ascent to Binah, so it could rise to the upper one and receive mochin from him. Were it not for this new siyum that was made in the middle of each degree, there would be no inlet nor a way for the lower one to rise even a bit above its degree. Therefore, in the beginning, an opening was made in the middle, and from that opening 4 openings came out and expanded to the 4 sides, under the firmament. The firmament is the midline which sustains the new siyum that was made in the middle of the degree, at the point of chirik, in the place of the binah in her. Even after Malchut returned and descended from Binah's place to her own place, the new siyum was not cancelled because of that, and those half of Binah and Tum that were purified from the new siyum by Malchut's descent do not connect to their degree while they are in their place. Rather, they must rise above the new siyum, where they connect to their degree. The last firmament of the 9 firmaments, Yesod, is in the place of the new siyum that was established in the middle of the degree, in the place of Binah of the degree. That opening is the new siyum itself, which has become an opening for the lower one. It stands in the middle of the degree, in the place of the new siyum, and is below all 9 firmaments, at the firmament of Yesod, at its end, where the new siyum is in the middle of the degree, and there it stands. Out of that opening in the middle of the firmaments in the garden comes a single light that divides into 4 sides in 4 openings. The opening that was done for the lower one at the place of the new siyum, which stands in the middle of the degree, the place of Binah, the light comes out of there to the lower one, which are the Chug Tum. First, the lower one ascends through the opening to the upper one with the Binah and Tum of the upper one, from the firmaments and above, where it receives the light Chug Tum. Subsequently, the lower one descends to its place with these mochin, and the light divides into 4 sides, Chug Tum, in 4 openings. Each moach is distinct with a special opening. The opening on the south illuminates for the moach of Chesed, the opening on the north illuminates for the moach of Gvura, the opening of the east illuminates for the moach of Tiferet, and the opening of the west illuminates for the moach of Malchut. Also, there are 4 colors in the expansion of the firmament on the garden, 4 mochin Chug Tum, which are the 3 lines, and Malchut to receive them. They illuminate inside the firmament over the garden, which is Binah de Binah of Malchut de Asiyah, and that firmament too divides into 9 firmaments, receiving its illumination from Chub de Zerampin de Atzilut. There are 4 openings below the expansion of the firmaments in those colors, yet the openings are not in the place of the colors, because the colors are in the firmament itself, from Yesod of the firmament and above, while the openings are under the Yesod of the firmament, actually at its siyum, the new siyum that was made in the middle of the degree, which became an opening for the lower degree, which is the souls of the righteous in the Garden of Eden. Also, they receive illuminations of 4 colors inside the firmaments. Hence, those colors extend from them, but the openings do not stand in the same place with them. 4 lights open in those 4 openings out of these fire and water, Chub de Zerampin, from which the firmament was made. This is because these fire and water are 2 lines, right and left of Zerampin de Atzilut, where the firmament of Zerampin, Da'at, is the middle line that unites them. And it is 3 colors, white, red, and green. And Malchut, that is connected in Da'at, is the black color. These illuminations extend to the openings Chug Tum, where each moach illuminates through the opening on its side. These 4 divide into 2 discernments, water and fire. Water is the illumination of Chasadim, the light of Chesed on the south, and the light of Tiferet, that is on the east. The fire is Chochmah. It is the light of Gvura on the north and the light of Malchut on the west. First, these 2 lights, water, in the south and in Tiferet, which are Chasadim, illuminate on the soul. Then, 2 lights that are fire illuminate in the north and west, which are the illumination of Chochmah. The place from which the heaven of the Garden of Eden receives is the firmament over the garden, from those fire and water that were taken from the upper heaven, the Zerampin de Atzilut. And from which place does the earth in the Garden of Eden receive? The garden itself? Each discernment receives from its corresponding discernment above. Therefore, as the heaven of the Garden of Eden receives from the fire and water of the upper heaven, the Zerampin, the earth in the Garden of Eden, the garden itself, receives from the earth above, Malchut de Atzilut, through her Merkava, which is the 4 angels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Nuriel, called 4 Merkavot, on which the Malchut rides and appears. However, they also cannot expand and illuminate below to the souls in the garden, unless through the 4 openings, since those 4 angels are also the 4 Bchinot Chug Tum. For this reason, Michael illuminates through the opening on the south side of the south of the firmament. Gavriel illuminates through the opening on the north of the firmament. Raphael illuminates through the opening on the east of the firmament. And Nuriel illuminates through the opening on the west of the firmament. We should also know that these 4 angels illuminate to the souls themselves as long as they did not complete their giving. However, once they have completed their bestowal, they return to their places above, leaving in their places, in the 4 openings, only four Reshimot, which are the first letters of their names: Mem from Michael, Resh from Raphael, Gimel from Gavriel, and Nun from Nuriel. This is so because the Reshimo is considered nefesh everywhere, and the 4 letters in each angel are 4 kelim for 4 lights, naran in them. Also, it is known that there is an inverse relation between kelim and lights, so when there is only nefesh of lights in a degree, it should clothe in the bigger kli. Hence, because only a Reshimo remains of the light of each angel, his nefesh, the first letter of his name had to remain as a kli for that Reshimo, since the first letter is the biggest kli of all the letters in his name. Therefore, we should discern 2 kinds of lights in these openings in the firmament over the garden. 1. What the firmaments themselves receive from the upper heaven, Zerampin d'Atzilut. It was said 4 lights open in these 4 openings from these fire and water, Chub de Zerampin, from which the firmament was made. 2. Reshimot of lights that the earth of the Garden of Eden, the garden itself, receives from the upper earth, Malchut, through the 4 angels. These Reshimot are the first letters of their names. It was said, a single letter is inscribed inside the light that illuminates to the right side. It illuminates, protrudes, and sparkles in the sparkling out of that light. It is the letter Mem, the first letter in Michael. It stands in the middle of the light in the opening. It is likewise in the rest of the openings.
Shri